Hello, everyone, and welcome to the week three of WF23 webinar series. I'm Sadur Rahman, and I'll be hosting today's session. First of all, thank you all for joining us. It's good to see you back again. So, as you know, the series is all about empowering you with practical knowledge and skills to help communities manage waste, sustainability, and profitability. So far, we have explored foundational concepts, and today's session is an exciting step forward. So, today's topic, as you all can see, is building your black soldier fly farm from setup to success. We'll be learning about black soldier fly species selection, farm design, optimal feeding practices, and harvesting techniques for larvae and frass. This session will be presented by our expert speaker, Sindy. Can you say hello? Yeah. So she is joining us to share her invaluable knowledge. So before we get started, I'd like to hear from a couple of the participants so we can get to know each other better. So could I ask whoever wants to introduce themselves, please raise your hand or send a text in the chat box. Luis, Luis Sikulu, can you please unmute and tell us a little about yourself?
Hi, everybody.
Hello,
Hello. Good evening, everybody.
good evening. So
Thank you. So,
please tell us
thank
a
you
little
so
about
much.
yourself and what brings you here.
Oh, yeah. Thanks so much. I am Lewis from Zambia, and I am a pharmacist. Yeah, and I'm into garbage collection and also planning to venture into recycling. Yes, I'm also a small scale farmer. Yeah, that is a bit about myself. Yeah, I've been interested. I've been so interested actually lately to the previous lecture which we had on recycling, which was so much informative, and looking forward to the next one. And it has been also a great privilege to learn about the black soldier fly and also its coming into the market, its benefits, and also learning it how it can alleviate poverty, also create jobs, and also how it can help in alleviating the climate challenge which we have. And so far, so good. And we are hoping to go further into learning into how it can be of benefit in spite of not being eaten to our program. But I think it's a great thing which we can learn that even if we don't implement it on our personal perspective, we can sell the idea to those who could wish to. Yeah, and I hope that the presentations which we had previously, the first one could be shared in the main group plus the one which we'll have today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing. So could I call next on Mr. Philemon? Could you please unmute and tell us a little about yourself?
So, good evening, everybody. Hello.
Yes, we're here.
Yes, I'm Philemon Nkurunziza. I'm a founder of Save Greenland project in Kakuma refugee camp. In our project, we do recycling of plastic waste and transform them into useful items as flowers to create a job opportunity to single mothers and vulnerable people and make environment safe. I'm really happy to be in this webinar. To mean that I see that I will get more skills that will help me in my project. Thanks.
Oh, great. Thank you too for sharing so much. And next, I think I should call on Rehbar Afzal from Pakistan. Hello. Can you please mute your mic and tell us about yourself and what brings you here? Okay, or not. So now, without further ado, I'd like to hand the floor over to Cindy to take us through the today's presentation. So a quick note, if you have any questions, please write it in the chat box. And if you um, want to wait until the end of the presentation to ask your question when the time comes, please use your raise hand option. Okay, so Cindy, up to you.
Hello to everyone. Hope you all are doing good. Please, before I begin, I'm really sorry for today. I have some internet issue, so I just pray it doesn't disturb during my presentation. I'm called Jongo Sinzingwingim, a Cameroonian, a level 500 student or a 4th-year student studying animal sciences in the University of Boya, Cameroon, Central Africa. Thank you. So this is actually our second class on black soldier fly farming, and it's a privilege and it's really a pleasure of mine. Um, it's really a pleasure of mine to be your facilitator. So during our last class, we looked at some basic terminologies in black soldier fly farming, as well as some basic, the life cycle of black soldier fly and the required temperature or the environment and the other stuff. So today we'll be looking at building your black soldier fly farm from set up to success, where we are going to be learning on how to establish a thriving black soldier fly farm from selecting the right location to harvesting valuable products. So thank you. Next slide, please. Okay, choosing the location of your black soldier fly farm. Your location is actually based on the type of production system you want to carry out. If you want to carry out indoors production system or you want to carry out outdoors production system, and the difference between the indoors and the outdoor is that the indoor is mainly used in commercial farming, and it's mostly done in a very large scale, and it's also used by universities such as my university, for experiment purposes. And the outdoor is mostly done by small peasant farmers located in rural area. Yes, next slide, please. So if you're considering going into large scale farming, you're going to go into use the indoor system, and if you want to go into small scale farming, use the outdoor system. Okay, so we have essential consideration for site selection. First of all, temperature affects black soldier flies a lot. The temperature matters a lot. If not, one day upon arriving, you realize that everything in your farm is not moving well, or you just realize that your larvae are all dead, and the humidity is same. You need to make sure that the black soldier flies have a good humidity or an average humidity. If not, there's going to be farm losses. So what we use in our black soldier fly unit in the university here, we use a hydrothermometer. A hydrothermometer is a combination of a thermometer and a hygrometer, which helps us to provide an optimum temperature um suitable for the growth of the black soldier flies. And we say it maintains optimal levels for black soldier fly breeding and development. Meaning, if it's too high or too low, it's going to denature the black soldier fly. And I bet you, as a farmer, you will not want to see you not want to see yourself putting on your time, putting on your energy, and at the end of the day, you see that you're not even able to have what you invested into your farm. So the most important factors with black soldier fly farming is the humidity and the temperature. And the solution is to use a hygrometer, hydrothermometer. Thank you. So the second essential consideration for selecting a site to set up your black soldier fly farm is the direction of wind. It is to look at the direction of wind and rain protection. When you're setting up your black soldier fly farm, it's always good to put it in the direction of the wind, so that when the wind is blowing, it helps to carry, to carry out this little amount of ammonia gas that's being produced or that is found in the substrate that is used to feed the animals. And for the rain protection, it is very essential for all animals to always make sure that they are protected from rain, because rain is like a destructor. So it's always good to make sure the house is protected. So we have ventilation. You also need to make sure that the space is well ventilated. At times, when I go into our black soldier fly unit here at the university, I'll really feel unease. Why? Because we have not opened the windows of our greenhouse, and as a result of that, the gases have accumulated inside. And that is why our lecturer will always tell us that, be it that the windows are open or they are not open, it is very important for you to always put on your face mask. Accumulation of gases is not good for our health. It has so many health effects. And we also have a drainage. It's always good to have a drainage around your black soldier fly unit in order to prevent waterlogging and create a healthy environment for larvae to thrive in. Next slide. Starting your black soldier fly colony. You can get your colony using two major ways. You can choose to purchase or obtain starter larvae, or you collect it from the wild. With the starter larvae, you just have to identify someone in your local community or in your community that is into black soldier fly.
Sadly, I think Cindy is having some network issues. She has gone out of the webinar before because of the network issues, so I think we should all wait for her. Meanwhile, Mr. Junaid, if you can introduce yourself, that would be great for us to know you. We have participants from all over the different continents. And Cindy's back.
I'm so sorry for the technical issue.
It's okay.
As I earlier made mention, I have some internet challenges where I am. So I was talking about starting a colony, and I made mention that you can either choose to start from an existing colony where you locate a farmer or an individual in your local community that's into black soldier fly farming, and you purchase a healthy, good, you know, set of larvae from him, or you purchase this black soldier fly that are already into the pupa stage, and you just construct a love cage in your farm where you allow them to hatch, become flies, and it's very important to know that while constructing your love cage is actually where is the a love cage is actually like the equipment. Can I even say the equipment? Yes, where we store the pupa. When they have been transformed from the larvae stage, they become the pupa. So we carry out the pupa and we keep them into the love cages. In the love cages, they stay there for around 7 to 10 days, where they then now metamorphose and become butterfly, black butterfly or black soldier fly. And inside the love cage, when you realize that they have hatched from the pupa to the black soldier flies, you keep a bowl of water. And it is very important to make sure that you keep a foam so as to soak, so as to help them drink their soaking. Because if the black soldier flies have direct contact with the water, they are going to drown and they die. And as a consequence, farm losses. So you can either purchase from an already existing colony, or you collect the eggs from the wild, where you just have to, maybe you can decide to take cow dung, poultry dung in your farm, any type of dung, even household waste that you've allowed to decompose. Just go and expose it in nature. After exposing it in nature, you can come after 1 2 days, you carry it, you take it now to an incubator. An incubator can be a little bowl you've decided to use. You just keep it there, and after some times you realize that the eggs, when you keep it in nature like that, the black soldier flies, all the flies from nature will come and, they'll come and lay their eggs on it. And before keeping the eggs, keeping the substrate or the attractant in the wild, it's always important to have cracks. A crack can be a stick, which is going to facilitate the laying of the eggs by the black soldier fly. So you just keep it there, they come, they lay their eggs, and you collect it, you go and keep it for some time. The eggs will hatch after I think it hatches after about 5 days. And from there you start seeing maggots or the larvae, the young larvae. You take it, you formulate your substrate. Your substrate is going to be made up of wheat bran, like what we use in my university. We use wheat brands and we mix with decomposed household waste. So we make it not too strong, not too soft, in order to prevent high humidity, which can cause the young larvae not to breed. So we always try to make sure that we make everything in an average level. We put the young larvae inside, and you just start feeding them. Whenever you discover that the substrate you put into is already finished, you just have to add another one. Next, please. So we have creating a mating enclosure. It is actually done in three steps and three stages. The first stage was actually the source of your black soldier fly colony, and the second stage now is establishing a mating enclosure with adequate moisture and temperature. Okay, the third stage is collecting the eggs. So when you have, that is, establish the mating enclosure, is like taking it to the Y. Then the black soldier larvae from nature, laying their eggs on your cracks. You carry it, bring it to your breeding unit, where you provide favorable laying materials and conditions, and we have transfer collected eggs to a proper food source where they will hatch and become larvae. That's what I earlier explained. So you just have to collect them after the hatching. You bring them, make sure that everything is in good condition, and you watch over them, make sure the feeding is okay, make sure the temperature, the humidity, the ventilation is okay, and that's how you do till day 32 to 50. Next slide, Sidon. So feeding your black soldier fly larvae, we have proper feedstock where we use low cost or even free waste byproducts. Black soldier fly larvae prefer foods high in fats, proteins, and starch. And while giving your black soldier fly feedstocks, it's very important not to give them feedstocks that are toxic. If not, it's going to lead to their death. And we have scale up production. As larvae hatch and feed, they need to be scaled up into larger containers for adequate production. So the thing is, when you've collected the larvae, maybe when the eggs have hatched and we have our young larvae, you start feeding them. As you continuously feed them, the space or the bowl or whatever equipment you initially started with, it's going to become very small. So what you need to do is, you should make sure that you always separate. Like if you see that the size of the larvae is increasing, or there is an increased population, make sure you look for another equipment or another grower equipment where you separate and you feed them. And what we usually do at my universities, at times we use, we start with one growers equipment, and at the end of the day, we discover that that particular colony or that particular batch has been divided into about 4-5 growers equipment. So we have now the harvesting larvae. Harvesting larvae before reaching maturity, that's shortly before the pupa stage. When the larvae, it's very good, essential to harvest them when you've noticed that they have gained the required body condition that you as a farmer you want. But if you see that the sizes are not balanced, what I can say is you can try to carry out some sorting or some grading, and the sizes that are too big, you harvest them and maybe transform into commercial feed or you sell. Whereas those that are still very young, you just keep growing them, and when they arrive the required level, you also harvest. So it is very important as a farmer to know the purpose. Are you going in for, okay, it's not like knowing the purpose, sorry. So it's very important for a farmer to know that we always need to continue production. So what you need to do is, you need to harvest part of it and use for the breeding colony, while you harvest part of it and use in your farm or for commercialization. So we have faced so many scenarios here where when it's harvesting period, we will go and we discover that there are some of the larvae that have already entered the pupa stage, which is wrong. And when your larvae is at the pupa stage, it no longer grows. It no longer grows and it no longer fits. So as a farmer, it is always good to harvest seed when it has reached the peak of maturity, that is before transitioning into the pupa. Next slide up. Just like what is displayed on this image here. So we have the value of black soldier fly product, where we have the wet larvae. After harvesting, we have the wet larvae, which can be kept through freezing. Like you can decide to keep it in the fridge. And I wanted to add that the way of harvesting black soldier fly is quite different, because you need to use a sieve or a filter to separate the black soldier fly larvae from the substrate. Okay, so we have the wet black soldier fly larvae, which can be stored through freezing. We have the whole dried larvae, which can be dried under the sun, which can be dehydrated, which can be dried in an oven, packaged, and for commercial purposes. We have the black soldier fly meal, which is used for the formulation of animal feed. And we have the black soldier fly oil, which is also called black soldier fly lipid oil. So these are actually the products you get from black soldier fly production. Next slide, Saido. So I just want to encourage you to seize the opportunity and join black soldier fly farming, because it's actually very, very cost effective. You do not have to spend much. You can start a black soldier fly colony from scratch without, you don't need, not initially from scratch, but you don't need money to start. Imagine you just getting up this morning with this crazy idea that, oh, I want to start black soldier fly farming because I want to help fight against climate change and other environmental problems. You just carry it. You just carry a boat. You just take some pig dung, some cow dung, any type of dung you have around, or household waste. You take it to an open air, to an open air. You just place it there, just for you to come and carry it. Maybe in the evening, you incubate it. The thing hatches. You start producing. It starts now producing. You start seeing maggots. You keep on growing it, and at the end of the day, you realize that you can even consume it, you as a farmer, or sell it to the people around you. And black soldier fly larvae is actually very, very expensive. Like, it's actually very expensive, but very cheap to start. You do not need capital. The only capital you need is maybe if in case you need a hydro thermometer and other farm equipment that you need to purchase, like the growers equipment, and the others. So it's very cheap. It is very, very cheap. So I'm encouraging you all to join black soldier fly farming, and let's create a green future. Let's create a green future where there is zero gas emission, because it's actually a very eco-friendly practices. There is no release of gas into the atmosphere. And after harvesting your black soldier fly larvae, or after the pupa stage, we have the frass that is being we have the frass that is left from the harvest. So what we do here is that we try to see how we can process the frass, not like process as in branding. We brand and we sell it as organic manure. There was this time I went to my lecturer's farm, and I was really amazed and astonished by the result I saw. So he was actually carrying out an experiment where there was a section for growing maize using NPK fertilizer, and another section for growing maize using black soldier fly frass. So when I looked at it, I was like, my God. And the funniest thing is that when you go out to convince local farmers or the local population to go into this, they'll be like, no, it's not good, it's time consuming. But nothing good comes easily. Black soldier fly frass is the best. Black soldier fly larvae is the best. So it's it is 100% eco-friendly, no release of gases into the atmosphere. And I'm inviting you all today to join the movement so we can make the world a better place. Thank you. Sorry, the next slide. Okay, question and answer session. So,
okay. Wow, Cindy, that was incredibly powerful and informative presentation. So let's now open the floor for questions and discussions. We have many. And let's start with if you have any questions, just raise your hand and we'll get to you. So first question Philomena asked was, can black soldier can be farmed in semi and region like Kakuma? How costful black soldier fly farming?
Black soldier fly farming can be carried out anywhere. Like it can be carried out anywhere. The issue is it's just good to maintain the optimum temperature of the farm. Like it's just good to have a good temperature. When you have a good temperature and when you have a good humidity, that's all. And what we use here at our unit in the university is we use that's why I made mention a hydro thermometer to take the temperature. When we realize that places are too hot in our greenhouse, we open the windows so that air can enter. And when we realize that the temperature is actually stable, we allow. And when in a black soldier fly farm, when temperatures are too hot, the black soldier fly larvae go under the bucket or under the bowl, under the growers equipment. The one will remain at the base. But when you realize that temperatures are very normal, you see them, just by looking, just by observing, you see that the colony is really doing well. So black soldier fly larvae farming can be carried out anywhere. You just need to have a good temperature and a good humidity, and that can be done by you, the farmer. You just have to regulate the environment to make sure everything is cool. Try the next question, please.
So next question, which is asked by Jonty in the chat box, is how can I manage my black soldier fly and keep them healthy and growing?
Okay, black soldier fly, they require a lot of attention. Not actually that much, but they require attention. You just need to be taking care of them, because if you are someone who is not serious, you either discover that everything is gone due to poor temperature, due to poor humidity, or food, how can I even put it? Food insecurity. Can I say food insecurity? Sorry. Or hunger. When you set up something, it's just like you setting up your farm and not taking care of it. Just come and realize that all the animals or all the crops you cultivated in your farm are dead out of starvation. So you just need to, let me say, what we do here is we check on them in the morning and we check on them in the evening. When we realize that their food is finished, we use decomposed household waste or dung to feed them by mixing it with wheat bran. The wheat bran is just to help soak the water, to avoid too much water in the feed, which can cause them to drown and die. So you just need to be checking care. You just need to check the temperature, the humidity, and you feed them. That is all. And when your black soldier fly larvae are already in the pupa stage, you carry them to your love cage. It's actually a very nice small cage. You just place, maybe a bowl or a cup of water with a foam soaked inside to ease, water drinking. Next question, Sido.
Okay, so next question is again asked by Jonty, which is how long should I wait and hatch the larvae?
Okay, the larvae. I said 10 days, 7 to 10 days for the transitioning to take place from the larva to the adult fly.
Okay. So
So when you realize that when you realize that the larvae has already become, wait, please, can you take over the question?
the question is that how long should I wait and hatch the larvas?
Oh, hatch the larvae. Sorry, I was actually answering another question. It takes 3 days. You said hatch the larvae, right? When you
Yes.
collect it from nature, it takes 3 days for it to hatch. So you have to allow in the incubator for 5 days before transferring it for growing.
Okay.
So it takes 3 days hatching and 5 days in the incubator.
Well answered. Okay. So we have 2 minutes remaining. If the meeting goes off before we can finish the questions, please sign in again using the link. And we're sorry for the inconvenience. So Philemon again asked, where can we buy black soldier fly in Kenya and how much is it? I think this question is repeated by Rehabar. She in where can we buy black soldier fly in Pakistan, or is it available in Pakistan?
Okay, actually, I'm not from Pakistan. I'm not from Kenya. So, as I earlier made mention, you can get it, you can try, you can use your mobile phones to look for the nearest vendor around, or you get the eggs from nature, that's from the wild, where you just have to prepare a substrate, which can be a cow dung, a pig dung, a poultry dung, household waste that's been decomposed. Just carry, you expose it. You can allow it to be out for the whole day or even 2 days. Later on, you carry it, just come and cover it, you incubate it, the eggs will hatch, you carry it now. After the eggs have hatched, you realize that maggots are beginning to be formed. And those are actually the young larvae. So from there, you just need to start managing them, taking care of them to reach the larvae where you harvest part of it for maybe commercialization or for your farm animals consumption, and the rest you allow them to go into the pupa stage where they metamorphose and they become adults fly, and the process continues. But the difference this time around is that instead of going back to the wild, you already have a breeding colony at your disposal. Thank
Okay,
you.
so I think the so a question was asked, which was that is black soldier fly not causing any diseases to human beings? I believe this question was asked by Philemon.
I'm actually seeing a very I'm seeing John T, sharing something. He started sharing it. That's what you.
Cindy, we can't hear you. Yeah.
Please, can you take your question over?
Yes, we can. So the same type of question was asked by two different participants. One is that is black soldier fly not causing any diseases to human beings? The second question, which is kind of the same, was asked by Rebar Afzal from Pakistan, is that is BSF has harmful effects along with benefits? And I think that's a very important question. So please.
Okay, I didn't hear the second question so well, but I'll first of all attempt to respond to the first question. Well, black soldier fly has no health effects. On the contrary, it has so many positive effects on us. It has no negative effects on us, but positive effects. Black soldier fly contains a lot of protein, and our body needs a lot of protein, like for proper functioning. So black soldier fly is not it does not transfer or cause any harm to animals, but or to humans, but it actually brings about fast growth, high productivity, increased farm income. Yeah, that is it.
Okay, so the second question was asked by Revar is that is BSFL has any harmful effects along with benefits?
Well,
Okay.
I know just of the benefits. Currently, I know no harmful effect. Well, the harmful, yes, I know no harmful effect, but I was thinking of one which could be, when you allow the household waste and the dung to decompose during the process of transporting, you can inhale some gases into your body, which is actually not, that is the only effect I can have. But aside from that, it has so many positive effects, increase farm returns, reduce cost of production, and as well as eco-friendly. It's very cheap to start up, and it doesn't require expertise.
Okay, great. So Lemon, right before the meeting
The
ended,
first part of.
asked a
Sorry,
question.
please, can you repeat the.
Yes, please go ahead.
Please, can you repeat the answer to the question from the beginning? The network was breaking. Couldn't get
Okay, Mama.
it.
Okay, Ma. Okay. So I actually said, the only effect I can think of is during the process of transporting your substrate to your farm. Using decomposed house waste, as well as using cow pig dung, leads to the inhalation of gases into the system. That is actually not very, very good for the health. So it's always advisable in order for us to solve that problem or to mitigate. It's always advisable to put on your face masks. And for the positive aspect, it is very, very cheap to start up. It doesn't require much capital. It is not labor intensive. It increases farm returns. It reduces cost of production, boost the farmer's living standard, and above all, it is actually very, very eco-friendly. That's why most scientists now are trying to encourage the black soldier fly farming and reduce conventional livestock like cattle, pig, sheep, goat, that emit a lot of gases into our atmosphere. So black soldier fly, instead of emitting gases into the atmosphere, it rather consumes, black fly consumes the gases rather than emitting it.
Okay, so
Wow, that's great.
the positive effect is that it's not really carbon. It doesn't emit carbon, it consumes and it's carbon negative. So
Yes.
Lemon asked, how long took the black soldier fly to be mature? And also, how can identify them are mature? So,
Okay, I already saw this. So actually, we have an average of 45 days, but it could span to 50, 60 days, depending on your location. Everywhere it has an average of 45 days, and for you to identify that your larvae are mature, it's via observation. You observe to see the body condition score, and the body condition score can be read by the size of it. when it's small, it's like when it just starts growing, it's usually very small. Then there become a time where you see, when when you see that they have become so mature. So it's when they have become very mature and the size are very big.
Okay. So Jonty asked, can we use used kids diaper on BSF?
Sorry?
Can we use used kid diapers on BSF? It's in the chat box.
No,
Okay.
no, you can't. I believe diapers contain, chemicals, and chemicals, can I say, they will be toxic to the insects, which will not really be good to the larvae. So it's not good to use larvae. Sorry, it's not good to use diapers. But it's very, very good to use household waste like peelings from maybe your vegetables and all the others.
Okay, Jonty added a very important comment which can start some discussions, which is that we started BSF here in Githurai. After some few days, everything went suddenly. The black soldier fly stopped moving.
Yes, the black soldier flies stop moving because of the two most important factor, temperature and humidity. So when next you want to establish or to set up your black soldier fly farm, you make sure that you have a hydro thermometer at your disposal. Helps you to measure the temperature. Temperature is 27 to 30 degrees centigrade. So you should always make sure that the temperature is like that. And maybe the the larvae were going through heat stress and you didn't notice. That is why they had to, they had to die. So temperature and humidity are the two key reasons why it didn't succeed. As long as those two factors are at their optimum levels, everything in your farm is gonna be good.
Okay. So I think that with that we have come to an end with the discussion and questions. So now, thank you again. It was really great. Our speaker, Sindy, for sharing her expertise with us today, and to all of you for participating so actively. Just a reminder, our next webinar will take place at the same time next Saturday, 6 p.m. GMT. And it will be sent in the WhatsApp announcement group. If you are not on the group yet, just hit me up with a text on WhatsApp and I'll send you the link. Okay, so we'll continue diving
Please,
deeper
before we
into,
go, I would
yeah,
like, okay. Please, before we go, I would just like to make you know that at each stage, like the incubator has a humidity that's required, the larvae have a humidity that's required, the pupa have a humidity that's required, and the adult have its own humidity. So the humidity is actually not, we don't have an average value, but it varies depending on the stage of the insect.
How can we get this thing, that's the different, that equipment you're talking about? How do we get it?
The hydro
The
thermometer,
incubator.
the incubator, the incubator
Yeah.
is not like the incubator that you use to hatch eggs. The incubator can just be a bowl you go to the market and buy, and when you come back, you can try to cut a small part of the mosquito net, because with the mosquito net, there is good ventilation and you cover it. You just have to come and be checking if things are going correctly. I think that's just all.
I think it will make more impact if you can show us some of the a pictorial this thing of what you're doing next time, so that will yes, that will help us to know what to do. Yeah.
Yes, I'll pick next class.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma.
Okay, so I have sent my WhatsApp text number, so you can just hit me up with a text and I'll get you some info. And this is the link of the WhatsApp announcement group. So please join if you already haven't. And it was again a great session and it was successful. So yeah, we'll continue diving deeper into our solutions that are really actionable and we can take actions on it, and we'll have a Western living. So thank you all and see you next week. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. We are grateful. God bless you. Hoping to make use of the opportunity very well.